Apparently, they just found something new on Mars. Look at y'all. Ain't no such thing as aliens. We don't believe in aliens. Who cares? There's a high possibility that we ain't the only ones in this universe. The materials that we made up of as humans is highly common out there in space, inside the universe and all of that. So it is a possibility that we ain't the only ones out here. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna be real with you. I hope we not the only ones out here, because that would be crazy. Y'all killing each other and all of that. But that's another story. They just found something new on Mars, and we got to figure out what it is. I don't know if it's life. I don't know if it's evidence of life or something, but it just came out, and we gonna check it out.
David Grinspoon, my astrobiologist at large.
I like Neil, though.
Right there at NASA headquarters. Tell us what's up with that?
Well, if we say NASA just found life on Mars, we're being a little bit, getting out over our skis. A little bit. This is possible life on Mars billions of years ago. We're not talking about life on Mars today, but what?
Oh, wow. So they talking about maybe it used to be life on Mars. Hey, in the background, he got slavery was bad. What he got in the background, bro? What was you going over with your students, brody? What was you talking about before you got on camera? That's what I want to know.
What's really exciting about this is it seems to be legitimately the best evidence we've found for something on Mars that needs life to explain it. So there's this rock called Chayava Falls. When you look at it, it's got these weird spots that they call leopard spots, because that's kind of what it looks like. And then they said, hey, that's weird. Let's go up closer and with our analytical instruments, see what those spots are made out of. And they turn out to be these iron minerals, things called vivianite and greigite that you find on Earth. And where you find them on Earth, they're usually associated with microbes doing things to organic matter. And then they look at this spot and they analyze it, and there are organics there. So there are organics, carbon stuff, and there are these minerals that on Earth are usually associated with life sort of using the energy, and it's kind of what life leaves after its meal, you know?
See, and the crazy thing about that is there is a theory out there. It is a theory. I'm not saying I believe this theory. I'm not saying you should believe this theory. I'm just going to say the theory. You get what I'm saying? The theory is that humans came from Mars and came over here. That's one of the theories. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying.
Microbial poop, is that what you want to call it?
Yes. It's what's excreted after the microbes eat.
You can have an organic soup where there's not life. You just have the ingredients that life needs. So when you said organics, it's carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, that sort of thing?
Yeah. So the organics themselves don't tell you that there's life, but they get your attention. You go, okay, so that's interesting. But then the organics in conjunction with these possible biogenic minerals make you go,
And so presumably the fact that it's all in one place together indicates that the life was doing its thing in that one place.
Yeah, exactly. It's if they weren't caused by life, there's a couple other hypotheses for what could have caused them. It can be done if there's high temperature reactions. So that was one idea. But then you look at other aspects of this rock, and the chemistry seems to be telling you this was laid down in a low temperature environment. And then, and then it could also be done if it was a heavily acidic environment. But then you look at
you know what's crazy? I wonder if they just trying to make sure they trying to make excuses to not believe it. Or are they just trying to make sure that it is what they think it is? You get what I'm saying?
Other aspects of this rock, and you go, no, it doesn't seem like it was a heavily acidic environment. So they've sort of started to rule out the obvious other explanations, and they're left with not only the biological explanation, but maybe that's almost like the favorite explanation now. Which is,
that makes sense.
So this was discovered by Perseverance, the SUV-sized rover that was plunked down there some years ago. And why didn't any other experiment notice this?
Yeah, we have not found these kinds of deposits anywhere else. So they're not all over the place on Mars. But then, of course, one thing we've learned from both our orbital and surface explorations of Mars is that Mars is a diverse planet with a lot of different kinds of locations. And so, this is a particular location with these are sedimentary rocks in a place that had liquid water. So these things are not all over the place on Mars. But
so they already kind of clarified that there was water on Mars at one point. You see what I'm saying?
You got to remember, most of Mars we haven't explored.
And the landing site for the rover, as was surely true with other rovers, was very carefully selected to maximize the chance of finding life. So you're going to go where there's a dried riverbed or lake bed or river delta, right? So I presume there's a lot of prior thinking where this is the fruits of that early work that people put in the reconnaissance.
Oh,
crazy.
Absolutely. I mean, this location was chosen, as you say, because it seemed promising. And, that one way of looking at this is, hey, that validates all those choices, all those site selection meetings. And, it's like, yes, we found it. Well, okay, we found something that could be it. It's certainly something interesting. And
I wonder what people would do if they did actually find, like, proof without a shot of a doubt that there was life. I wonder what path would that take us down after that, though? You know what I mean?
By the way, another interesting thing about this location is that these sediments are some of the youngest sediments that that Perseverance has explored. They're not, they're still ancient, they're billions of years old, but of all the rocks that we've looked at, they're some of the youngest, meaning that if this is an actual sign of ancient life, that life might have been there for quite some time. There's much older signs of habitable environments than this particular one, which is on the young side from what we've explored.
Wow. So when are we going to see something crawl out of a hole on Mars? We're pretty sure there's no life on Mars today, correct?
Well, we don't know that. I'm personally skeptical of life on Mars today, but in the astrobiology community, you will find a wide range of opinions on that. And my own personal skepticism, I have to temper with the fact that I have a lot of smart colleagues who are more optimistic about it, and that's okay.
I ain't going to hold you. That slavery was bad in the background. I can't take my eyes off. I'm just wondering, what was you talking about before this interview?
The fact is, if we find
slavery was bad, that's crazy.
Definite evidence of ancient life on Mars, and we haven't found it yet, but we found something promising. But to say we found...
Call it a smoking gun, gun.
If we were really sure there was ancient life on Mars, that would probably increase our optimism a little bit about finding extant life, because if there was once life, then maybe it could have evolved and found some hiding place when...
But what would you do if you actually found life alive right now? I hope if they actually found life alive right now that they wouldn't just rush to bring it back to Earth, because that would be crazy. If y'all seen the series Alien that's going on right now on what is that, Hulu or Netflix? It's on one of them, but I'll be watching it. Don't be in no rush to bring back life that you don't know nothing about. If you find life on Mars or any planet, study it there. Don't be bringing it back to Earth and making all type of stuff change. And nah, we ain't with that. You hear me?
When the surface got so terrible.
And what about the underground possible aquifers that might still retain liquid water? I don't know what would keep them liquid, but no one is denying the likelihood that there could be water deposits beneath the surface.
Almost surely somewhere underground on Mars there's liquid water, because we know there's water ice. And we know that as you go into the interior of a planet, of any planet, it gets warmer and warmer because of basic thermal physics. So at some point on Mars, there's a place that's warm and wet enough so there's an aquifer. I think that's very likely. The question is, would that have the energy and the nutrients and all the other stuff you'd need for life? And could life exist over billions of years in one little, isolated outpost if it's not a sort of robust planetary biosphere like you have on Earth? That makes me skeptical, but I certainly can't say I know there's no life on Mars, and I think that we need to search
Mars is
okay,
bigger.
So since this is basically bacterial excrement, can we expect to possibly extract DNA from it, or is that out of the question?
I would say that's unlikely because, I mean, imagine that this was an Earth rock that was billions of years old and you were finding the same kind of mineral trace of life. The idea of there being sort of intact genetic material that had survived, especially in an environment like,
It's
you know,
probably
Mars is
too
being
old for
bathed
DNA.
in this
You know what I
cosmic
mean?
radiation. So I would say, you know,
And lethal ultraviolet, yeah.
the idea of, you know, sort of creating Jurassic Mars Park out of this stuff seems
See,
unlikely.
that's what I'm saying.
It would just be fun to know if
Trying to
it.
create Jurassic Park, we don't want that. We don't want no Jurassic Park in real life.
Had any DNA at all, and if it did, does it have anything in common with us?
Oh, man.
Which, if it did, then we got panspermia on our hands. Just remind me about what that could be.
Yeah, no, I mean, the question you're asking, of course, would be amazing if we found something intact enough to understand its genetics, because then we have that amazing question: are we related to it?
Yeah.
See, I'm scared of y'all finding something for real, because ain't no telling what y'all gonna do. The world is ain't no telling what y'all do.
Has it arisen because rocks at one point traveled between Earth and Mars, which we know they do naturally, and something hitchhiked along it, or is it actually an independent origin? You know,
That's because we have meteorites on Earth that were traceable to Mars, and we didn't bring them here. So these are Mars rocks blasted forth from some kind of asteroid, traveled through space all on their own, and what you would need are stowaway microbes that some would then survive. They'd have to be very hardy to do so. And the hardiest microbes that we all know about and talk about, of course, is the tardigrade, water bear, that you can't kill that thing. So is that still a prime candidate for having stowed away on a rock from another planet?
well, you know, you're asking me if tardigrades are Martians?
No, yeah, I didn't want to say it that explicitly. I was trying to get around that somehow.
I mean, it is true that there are Earth organisms, the tardigrades being a great example, that seem like they would survive at least short stints of space travel. Another interesting thing to ponder is the fact
But it'd take a while for it to actually get to Mars or from Mars here. So a short travel probably wouldn't be likely.
the time when these possible microbes were pooping
But these people way smarter than me. I don't even know. You know what I mean? I'm not that intelligent. I just gotta keep it real.
out these minerals on Mars. The bombardment rates were higher early in the solar system. There was more stuff hitting the planets, and therefore the chance that some rock with some of this stuff got blasted off of Mars and landed on Earth, it seems credible that could have happened.
So that would mean we would all be descendants of Martians.
Well, I know some people in particular
That's surely more true for them than
There is
others.
theories.
So remind us who's the lead author on this paper?
The lead author is Joel Horowitz at Stony Brook University. It's a long list of authors because these are big team efforts, and so it's a cast of
That's a lot of
dozens, but he's the lead author, and the Perseverance team is I think they're popping champagne today.
So David, thanks for checking in with us on very short notice for this very important announcement from NASA.
Absolutely, nice talking to you, Neil.
That's another installment of Star Talks. What's up with that?
That's fire, though. Here's the thing, though. I want to know y'all opinion on it. To tell me what you think they would actually do if they found real life on Mars, or if they found life anywhere. What would actually take place? Do you think that will you be happy if they do find life on Mars? That's the $1 million question. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm not so sure. The way humans be acting, it'd be like, y'all might try to create Jurassic Park and all of that. I might not want that. You know what I mean? But keep looking. Y'all let me know what y'all think. My name October, and I'm not that intelligent.